for our hymn in the gray hymnal number 298, Wake Now My Senses. We bid you welcome. In this community of radical inclusion, we make space for what you believe and who you love, and your whole self is welcome here. This community is an open-hearted inclusion of all people. We do not expect you to think a certain way or restrict yourself to one set of beliefs. We only ask that you try to live a kindly and helpful life with the dignity proper to a human being. Welcome all who believe that religion is wider than any sect and deeper than any set of opinions. Welcome all who might find in our friendship strength and encouragement for daily living. We are so grateful that you are here. My name is Barb Eglinton. I'm your service leader today. My pronouns are she and her. Thanks for spending your Sunday morning with us, whether enjoying the service in person or online. I'd like to extend a special welcome to any visitors today. After the service, we invite you to stay for coffee and conversation downstairs in our reception hall. Now, please take a moment to silence your phone, but we encourage you to share your presence on social media. And we have a few announcements. The used shoe fundraiser is still going on, but it will be wrapping up in May. So bring in your gently used shoes and ask your friends and neighbors to help out. Look around the sanctuary and you will see t-shirts from years past representing the 20 years that UUCF has participated in the Crop Walk. We are so excited to continue this tradition. The Crop Hunger Walk will be held on Sunday, May 4th at the First United Methodist Church in downtown Farmington. Registration begins at 1 p.m. and the walk will start at 1:30. We're asking for your support. Please sign up to be a walker or to make a contribution to someone on our UUCF team. And the names of the walkers are on the footprints on the t-shirts. 75% of the funds go to Church World Service, which does great work around the world. 25% of the dollars collected go to 6 local pantries, including CARES and Hospitality, Neighborhood House, Salvation Army, Zayman International, which provide halal food, and Yad Ezra, which provides kosher food. To contribute to join the walk, you can go to the website listed in the weekly email blast or the QR code included in the announcements slide, or contribute to a walker. Thanks for supporting the Crop Walk, and if you have any questions, you can talk to Yvonne Wyborny.
I just want to, we also handed out QR codes, and we put QR codes on all of the t-shirts as well, so we're making it easy for you, so please contribute.
If you enjoyed the photo display downstairs over the last few weeks, please feel free to take some of these pictures home. They have been digitized, so we will have them in our records. They are scattered in random order under the UUCF and the Community Bulletin Board by the coffee counter. Today, also downstairs, the Peep Show is happening, which is dioramas using Easter candy, the Peep Easter candies. So you can vote on your favorite Peep diorama by putting money in the box next to that diorama, and the proceeds will go to affirmations. Please stay after the service today for a town hall to get to know members who are running for elected positions and to learn about our proposed budget for next year. This is an opportunity to learn more about hopes and dreams for the future of our congregation. The town hall will start at 11:45 here in the meeting house, so grab your coffee and come back up. There are 2 upcoming dates that are important that you should be on your calendar. May 11th, we will be attending the service at Northwest UU, not here, so don't come here on May 11th. On May 18th will be the congregational meeting where we will have those important votes about our slate of candidates for leaders and our budget. And we need to have a quorum to pass the votes, or to make the votes valid. So please plan on attending that meeting. And that's May 18th. A friendly reminder to all parents or guardians of RE students to pick up your child from your RE class downstairs before heading to coffee hour. And check out our social media, Facebook, Instagram, to see other things that are going on here at UUCF. And now we'll do the chalice lighting. So Dexter. We are Unitarian Universalists who hold love at the center of our lives. With this chalice, let us honor the vibrancy of this community as we serve the world. Please join me in reciting our mission statement, which can be found in your order of service. We seek answers everywhere, include everyone, and live with compassion. Thank you. I'll invite Argo.
Hello, everyone. If you do not know me, my name is Argo. I am your religious education coordinator. And today we have a message for all ages today. So today we got this from the Worship Library by Martha Dallas. So imagine with me that you're going along a trail in the woods in Vermont, and you come across a steep gorge with a river rushing at the bottom. There is only one way to get across. You see a bridge, and it's made not of peeps. Not of peeps, but of long, thick grass. And it is made of grass, clearly. It's braided grass together. Now, what would we think before we walked over a bridge of grass? Would we feel super confident about that, or maybe not super confident? So, What I would want to know more than anything else is that if the people who made that bridge also walked across it, did they trust it enough to use it? And of course, we don't have bridges made of grass in Michigan, but many were built for hundreds of years in South America by the Inca people. And I think a few still exist. Here's how they did it. First, they made fresh bridges once a year so they didn't get old and gross over time. On the appointed day, everyone in the village would gather to begin their work. Each person had a special role to play in building the bridge. There were people who gathered the grass, and other people took that grass and twisted it into long ropes. Then other people took those ropes and wove them into thick braids. And those braids were twisted by other people into long cables as thick as my arm. Certain people strung the cables across the gorge and pulled them nice and tight. And finally, there were people who would lash the cables together in such a way as to create a footbed to walk on and rails on each side to hold. Each person did their part as best as they could, and they relied on everyone else to do their part as well, because every one of them needed that bridge to safely carry them across the river whenever they needed to go that way. I tell you about grass bridges this morning for two reasons. First, it reminds us of how important our small part is. When it's part of something big and strong and even miraculous, such as a bridge made of grass, I have to say, I think it's amazing that a bridge can be made out of grass. Something so small that I could snap apart with my hands could be made strong enough to carry people. And these bridges could span 60 feet. That's longer than the length of our sanctuary. And they could hold 5 people at a time and a llama. And the second reason I talk to you about grass bridges today is we in this congregation may not be building a bridge across a raging river, except maybe the kids are in the woods. I'm not sure what they do in there. But we are building a way towards our future, our shared vision. I want to walk that way. I hope many of you will want to walk that way too. And if I'm going to want to walk that way, I want to walk a way that feels sure and strong and safe, like a bridge expertly made. A way that I know has been built well with everyone doing their part as best as they can. So we may all build that way together like the Inca grass bridge builders. Thank you.
Hymn number 414, as we leave this friendly place.
The Rainbow Bridge. So good to see you all this morning. My name is Reverend Karen Madrone, and I have the honor of serving this congregation. My pronouns are she and hers. Today we have a special ceremony where we are recognizing some of our newest members. So I'm going to ask Jennifer Coa to come up, Katie Miller, and Renee Snodgrass. They have joined since January of this year. Come on. So becoming an official member means you sign this historic book that even many of us have questions about, because we're not sure exactly when people started writing in it, but we know that signing your name to this book makes you say, I am joining myself in with all of you, and I have decided I'm going to, like, literally signing my name here and then making it official that they have decided they are going to join. And also, who is not represented here today is Sarah Pressing as well. So just to let you all know that. And so, our newest members. We at the Universalist Unitarian Church of Farmington welcome you as new members of our community this morning. You have come to worship, play, work, and grow among us. Ours is a free fellowship. We have no creeds, and you are free to bring your ideas. Not only free, you are encouraged. We want your ideas and your beliefs to this fellowship to share with others. I invite you to join us in the religious search for meaning and purpose in life, informed by our and your individual beliefs and the traditions of Unitarian Universalism. You have already signed our membership book. This morning, I invite you to celebrate that commitment in our worship now. In this gathering, every Sunday, we lift up our voices in shared song. We bring ourselves before the holy of our understanding in silence and in speech. We search together for meaning and truth in life, and we share the joys and sorrows of our lives with one another. Joining the Universalist Unitarian Church of Farmington means being part of this gathered community, speaking out on the future of our congregation, offering and receiving the gifts of Spirit, supporting others and being supported in return. If you will join us in this mission and work, please say, I will. Thank you. Will the members of this congregation please rise and repeat after me? So if everyone would please rise. We receive you with open hands and hearts. We receive you with open hands and hearts. As you join us, we once again renew our own commitment to this religious community. Renew our own commitment to this religious community. We are proud and happy to have you among us. We are proud and happy to have you among us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yay! Thank you. You may be seated.
In this space carved out by our quiet connection, we give thanks for the many forms of love that have formed us. The love of family that brings us into being, allows us to bloom, and then sends us on our way with the reminder that we can return no matter what. The love of partnered hearts that teach us to trust and help us to know that who we are does not end at the barrier of our own skin. The love of friends who help us feel seen and sing our song back to us when we cannot hear it with our own ears. The love of community that bathes us in belonging and calls us to see the needs of others as our own. And the greatest love, the love that will not let us go, the love that will not let us go, even in our fear, even in our failure, even when we are lonely or lost. Love invites us home, friends. If we listen, it is doing so even today. You are welcome to come pick up a stone or stones from the table here, infuse or charge it with your joy or sorrow, and place it in the singing bowl, where its energy will ripple out to be held by all of us. If you'd like to verbally share something important on your heart, please speak up at the microphone, and you are welcome to participate in any of these ways. Joy. My daughter. Now we'll light 3 candles for the intentions that rest in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. One for the joys, one for the sorrows, and one for the strength of the gathered community that can support you and bring you peace.
Celebrating a successful close to our stewardship campaign and really focusing on what does it mean to live in community? What does it mean for all of us to support and contribute our energy, our time, and our funds to make sure that this community continues long, long into the future? And so towards that end, our meditation moment, I want you to imagine, close your eyes for this space here. Bring yourself into this space. If you've been coming here for a while, feel the energy of the people who came before you, that you might remember all of the memories of people who've passed along your path in some way or another. If you are new here, maybe this is your first day or you're a recent attendee, imagine, what does this space feel like that is truly welcoming of all people? What does it feel like to be home in a way that perhaps you can't actually fully articulate, but you kind of know it when you feel it? What does that feeling feel like for you? Let us stay in that moment here together. And now continue to keep your eyes closed and just imagine this while I read to you a reading called Blessed Are Those by John Burens. Blessed are those who yearn for deepening more than escape, who are not afraid to grow in spirit. Blessed are those who take seriously the bonds of community, who regularly join in celebration and learning, who come as much to minister as to be ministered unto. Blessed are those who bring their children, who invite their friends to come along to join in fellowship, service, learning, and growth. Blessed are those who support the church and its work by their regular, sustained, and generous giving, and who give of themselves no less than their money. Blessed are those who know that the church is often imperfect, yet, rather than harbor feelings of anger or disappointment, bring their concerns and needs to the attention of the church leaders. Blessed are those who, when asked to serve, do it gladly, who realize that change is brought about through humans, meetings, who do the work of committees and stay until the end. Blessed are those who speak their minds in meetings, who can take and give criticism and feedback, who keep alive their sense of humor. Blessed are those who know that the work of the church is the transformation of society and the world, who have a vision of beloved community, transcending the present, and who do not shrink from controversy, sacrifice, or change. Blessed are they indeed. Blessed are each of you and so many more that are not represented here today, but far beyond, and all those stretching all the way back to the 1840s, who made it so that this congregation could continue to exist into a future they did not know would be, and all of you who are working for a future that we cannot yet see. Amen. Please join in singing our meditation hymn, which is number 362, Rise Up, O Flame.
Yes. And folks, we're going to do this as a round. So the first time through, we're going to sing it all together so we know what the tune goes, how the tune goes. And then second time through, we're going to start with this half of the church over here following me. And that half is going to be silent. And you're going to take your cue off of Kelly to start. Okay? And we'll sing that through 2 more times? Yes, 2 more times. All right, here we go. Everyone. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, shower to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Right job.
As Reverend Karen said, we are at the end of our stewardship campaign. Our theme was, what will you bring to the pot? With those of you who have submitted pledges since the last week, place your vegetables in the pot. Has that already been done, Karen? You guys, there's no outstanding vegetables? All right, if you have a veggie, you can place it in the pot. 80% of our families have pledged for a total of $225,000. Thank you to the generous pledges. If you have not yet pledged, you will be hearing from the fundraising committee. We are truly grateful for your pledge of support. We're committed to using these gifts to make a difference in the world, to increase love and justice, to decrease hate and oppression, to expand beloved community, to share and to keep sharing as long as we can. You are now invited to participate in the blessing of giving as the ushers come among you to accept the gifts of the congregation. You may also give online via the QR code on the back of the order of service. Please join me in reciting the offertory blessing that can be found in your order of service. To the work of creating beloved community within and beyond these walls, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings. Our reading today is responsive reading that's found in the order of service. Please read the italicized words marked people. We, or all that we are together and individually, is part of the abundance of the universe. All that we have comes from earth, from the labor of those in our communities. From the cities, farms, and oceans that enliven us, the world and those who live in it. We are surrounded by blessing, by grace, and by possibility. We are reflected in every other human being. We respect and honor one another's differences. Come, let us celebrate abundance together.
We truly are a generous and abundant congregation, aren't we? Yes. Can you say that a little more enthusiastically? We are, yes. We are. There are so many examples all year long, all the time, of ways that this congregation helps each other, helps the world, and imagines the ways that things that we give that ripple out into the world, that we let go. It's the constant practice of letting go without attachment to what happens once we give. And whatever it's time, our money, or maybe something that we've worked on, we don't know the exact what's going to happen, but we consistently practice doing that. Today, we are celebrating that abundance in the many forms that it takes. Abundance takes the form of people who volunteer their time in unaccountable ways every week. I couldn't even imagine, like every week there's, this week I know the Social Justice Committee met, I know the Building and Grounds Committee met, I know membership met last week, there's another one, the Executive Board met on Wednesday. Hours and hours that go into the events, the meeting itself, and then the follow-up, many personal hours that individuals put in to planning and organizing, and all of that cannot actually be measured. Like, even if we said, okay, everybody think about exactly how much time, I don't know if it could be measured. If all of our choir members, like how much time did they practice and so on, we have so much just available just in the time and energy that individuals put in. People give of their energy by listening, by showing up. People come to like the day timers, and they come specifically to listen and support other people. That is truly a gift. They listen to each other. They show up for meals. We've had people, because we started a new campaign a month or two ago of asking people to sign up to bring meals and give rides, and we've had people sign up for that, and we are going to be calling on you, I'm sure, in the future for your role in helping to do that. So we are thankful for all of you who have, and there's always an open slot for you because we help each other as well. And monetarily, I wanted to let you know that since August of 2024 this year, UCF has given away $2,381 in its special collections to everything from Greening of Detroit to Nova Ukraine to the Palestine Children's Fund. You all should be very proud of these contributions that happened throughout the year. We are truly abundantly blessed, and we share our abundance much further than even through monetary, even through dollars, like the baby shower that was held here a few weeks ago. It's things and people, all kinds of ways that we show up for each other. Even with that, setting up the decorations, setting up the space, that contributes to a way that we are all building the beloved community together. One of the hallmarks of Unitarian Universalism is our strong belief that it doesn't matter what your beliefs are. Like, we talk a lot about how we don't have a creed. You don't say everybody has to believe a certain thing. But what we believe matters more than what individual specific beliefs are is how you live your faith out in the world. How are we actually doing this? There's the difference between orthodoxy and orthopraxy. Well, how are you actually living in? That's one of the key differences of Unitarian Universalism. And I want to just throw it out there that every once in a while, I see in my colleague or UU World discussions around, can people be a Unitarian Universalist while not being a part of UU community? I think it's an interesting philosophical discussion. I don't know. There are many people fall on lots of different points along this concept because people have these ideas. Many of you arrived here and went, whoa, I didn't know there were people who believed like me. And, there's this whole saying of you were UU and didn't know it. And so that has, a kernel of truth to it. And at the same time, I personally believe that we can share our principles and values, but it is in sharing community that we actually practice what we believe. This is like what I consider like our ongoing laboratory for how do we actually show up together across our differences. I think of like rocks kind of rubbing up against each other. We have this difference, or maybe this thing didn't work out, and can we try it again? Can we create a place where we're ongoingly taking risks and forgiving each other when we screw up and saying, oh, wow, maybe that didn't go exactly the way I hoped, but maybe there was a misunderstanding that I had. And then we try to keep building that community because we don't ever say, well, we hit an obstacle and that was it. We say, well, you know what? This thing didn't work the way we had originally imagined it, but maybe there's another possibility we haven't yet seen. To me, that is one of the gifts of Unitarian Universalism, that we're not like, we try very hard, but we are humans. So sometimes we have to go back and go, wait a minute, I'm a product of the world I live in, and here we can try a different way. So we're just going to keep trying that other way. We're just going to keep putting this in practice. And so I know there are folks who bristle at words like spiritual practice, so just keep hanging in there with me. I encourage you to compare it to a physical practice or a mental practice. So exercising consistently helps build mobility, strength, and flexibility, right? So we know that, especially as we age, that if you keep doing strength training or yoga or Tai Chi or other kinds of things, your whole physical self gets stronger and you're like more able to respond if you fall or something like that. You've built some of that internal strength. If you want to learn how to play an instrument, you have to keep doing it, even when it's not comfortable or fun, right? Because it's not always easy, it doesn't always bring you joy, but you just keep doing it because you know that's what it takes, is the consistency. And so the same thing, I think, in our spiritual practices, and there's three things that I think are spiritual practices that Unitarian Universalism specifically has, which is because it's not tied to a specific creed. And so these three practices are: the world doesn't revolve around me, slow down and pay attention, and listen more than talk. What do you think? Those are three, I think, spiritual practices that aren't super concise, but if we can always keep in our minds, the world doesn't actually revolve around me. We've been told it does, but it doesn't, I assure you. Slow down and pay attention. Slow down for when you're like wanting to have an immediate reaction to something. Slow down and go, okay, what is this about? And listen more than talk. I have to do this a lot. And I'm in meetings like, is it really my place to say this? And for response, okay, that's it. So because it's about listening more than talking, because other people have things that they might not have had the space to say. One of our hopes and goals is for people to feel like they are welcomed and loved. And one of the ways we do that is by listening to other people first. This specific community has existed in a variety of forms in this room, starting from this like little bar thing, I'm sure there's an architectural word for it, all to the back of this room, since the 1840s, but the room itself, this space, going back, was dedicated in 1852. The congregation itself, because we know that congregations, groups of people who don't have a space, exist for many years before they actually create a space, because you have to have some money to start with. So they started around the 1840s. Nobody really knows the exact year. You know, it's one of those things. We're living with the mystery. We don't exactly know, but we know it was around the early 1840s. And then what's truly a miracle to me, because when my colleagues and I talk about it, it's such a miracle that our congregations continue to exist. In the larger U.S. world, when they do a census data about religions, Unitarian Universalists are 1% of the entire United States. 1%. It's a freaking miracle we exist. Don't you think? For all this time that we continue to exist, even as our congregations, whatever size they are. And this congregation, from its earliest days, when it talked about the importance of following the teachings of Jesus. If I pulled up here the covenant from the early days, many of you would be you would start to freak out. So I'm not going to do that to you, but I'm going to let you know that those are the words. And perhaps at a future service, I'll do that and just give you a little warning. But that was the original teachings of Unitarianism and Universalism, of following the teachings of Jesus. It focused on, it had to live through the challenges that it faced during the Depression, the World Wars, the social effects of the Vietnam War, and the work that has done here to adapt and expand its physical plant. The room you are sitting in was originally located downtown, and in 1961, it was, 67 was, sorry, I apologize, I wrote that down wrong. I'm like, wait a minute, that's the wrong year. Was relocated to this spot on land donated by the Gibson family. This room was put on a truck and drove up Freedom Road and brought over here. It's just phenomenal, isn't it? And so I wanted to read this little bit from the histories, and I wanted to share this with you. I shared this is our historic membership book. Again, history, what does that mean anyway? We don't really know exactly the right year. But another interesting thing, last year, I'm so glad to see Harry here. He gave me this flash drive. So sometimes technology history comes in new technology. So this little flash drive has some historic documents on it that I have found to be really helpful and fascinating to learn about this congregation. And so this is from a document that's called From a History of Covenants in Farmington that was shared with me on this little flash drive. The Farmington Union Society, because that's what it was called then, began the planning of this New England-style meeting house in 1849. These are their exact words, so some of the grammar is kind of clunky. Before 1850, some material had been bought and stored. In the spring of 1852, the building project began in earnest. Within 9 weeks, a site of nearly 1 acre downtown had been bought for $200. And before the end of the summer, the church had been built and occupied. I mean, we can't even imagine that now. The original building, 20 by 30 feet, which cost $900, is still used. The date of the original dedication was August 28, 1853. Now, here's the one really big fascinating thing. This says, about 14 persons contributed to the building's cost of construction. 14 people. I'm confused about the word about before 14, so is it a specific 14 people, or it could be 15, it could be 13, I don't know. But to me, it's one of those living in the mythologies. I don't have to know the exact answers, right? So we know that about 14, so we're going to say less than 20, contributed to making this space happen. Because they believed, way back in the 1840s, that a faith community like this was needed. Now, it was a different time. They had slightly different beliefs than we do, but they're still our ancestors, right? We are experiencing the gifts of people long before us who are willing to do something incredibly radical for their time. I mean, the mainline churches, I mean, it's just beyond me, the risk that it took for them to say, we need something totally different that is, okay, yes, we're still Christians, but we're not Christians like they are, is the belief that they had. And then over time, it's continued to change, but we are still the recipients of the gifts of these original about 14 people. Isn't that amazing? Yes. So I just wanted to think on that and the ways that we all contribute over time. Those 14 people had no idea that one day all of us would be here. This is something that I just keep on thinking on like all the time. How are we receiving the gifts and then making space, all of us here, for people, you know, many, many decades and decades and decades from now? That's one of our hopes and dreams. This congregation is the recipient and a place that makes space for people that are different from us, people that we can't even continue to dream of. We are the descendants of serious risk takers going back to Europe and the early days of Christianity. Unitarian Universalism has been part of a liberal religious tradition that, to some extent, defines itself in terms of risk and living on the edge, the frontier, the fringe. We are way out there. From its earliest incarnation as the far left wing of the Radical Reformation, went to dissent from the Roman Church, the Lutheran Church, the Church of Calvin, was to risk your life, to risk imprisonment or exile or burning at the stake. And our movement does have its martyrs, whose hymns we still sing and writings we still read for clues about our own humanity. That's when I get nervous when folks are like, but do we want to have this song? It has this word I don't like. But I'm like, well, sometimes I read or do things that may not be my own particular belief because one of my beliefs is the world doesn't revolve around me. So if I am willing to live into that, then I'm able to sing it and be it in other ways. We are risk takers. We are the people who want to live that and also make space for who we have not yet seen. Ours is a saving church. We are the people who make space, and we hear this from many of you who have been here within the last 10, 20 years. Many of you have heard these statements that are repeated across all UU churches everywhere. People saying, people say things like, I never knew there was a place like this where I could be accepted, where my beliefs, whatever they are, could be accepted. They say, I never knew there could be a congregation of people that believed as I do and want to make the world a better place this way. They say, I walked out of the church of my childhood as soon as I was old enough, but until I came here, I had no idea how deeply I was longing for connection to other people and perhaps to the sacred. And they were looking, and we became that place for them, whoever they are. We, being open-hearted, open people, made a space for others. That is what it takes to continuously live that practice of listening more than talking, putting others before ourselves, being willing to keep our hearts and minds open. I want us to think about how this space also makes space for our children and how we make space for them to ask their questions. How we nurture their sense of justice, their love of freedom, their faith, their spirit, and most of all, their hope. Right now, the world is a scary place. We know that. I don't feel the need to give you the day's news or all of it, everything that's happened in the past week. You know that. This is a place of hope. This is a place of joy. And we're going to have that for our children for now and into the future. This is a saving church. I just wanted to share a little bit about how some of your contributions have made it possible for some of the things that we've done here in the past year or so and in the past week. We are very active participants. In fact, I think we were the smallest church. I could be wrong with the Get Out the Vote program. And this church doubled the work that was the requirement for the Get Out the Vote Good Trouble program. You all should be very, very, very proud of that. This year, we're about to once again be renewed for our welcoming congregation status that recognizes this congregation as a place that welcomes GLBT people. So very proud for all of the work that we do throughout the year. This past Wednesday, I was able to attend the Michigan United Lobby Day in Lansing. And in fact, when I arrived, they're like, hey, will you MC this rally? I'm like, okay. They handed me a microphone. And so then I was introducing people. So that was one aspect. On Thursday, myself and Argo Kramer, our coordinator, we participated in a meeting where we are organizing a Farmington Pride that's going to happen the Sunday, June 29th. I'm so excited, and Renee Snodgrass is one of our cohort steering committee people, and I am so thrilled. We are calling ourselves the Farmington Area Progressive Alliance. Yes. But it's because of your generosity that we are able to have staff members available to help and do these things and be able to be a part on the ground floor of making this happen, the first ever Farmington Pride event. I am so excited for that. And then, because of your generosity, on Friday, I was able to help out a family who is homeless and is staying at a hotel down the street. Because of your donations to the Minister's Discretionary Fund, we were able to help them stay a few days longer and get some food to help them out. You never know what's going to happen. There are many ways that we impact the world. Sometimes it's an individual you actually see. Sometimes it's beyond anything that we could imagine. And so at this point, I'm going to let you know that the choir is going to come up and sing this song called I Am Willing. Hold on. But Diana can come up. But yes, go on, Diana. I apologize. So I first heard Holly Near sing this song many years ago. Go on. At a General Assembly. It's an annual gathering of our congregations and members. And they sing, the line keeps asking over, saying, I am willing. And so I wanted to thank each of you. Everybody recognized here, and then there are others whose names have not been contributed, have not have their vegetable up yet. So just acknowledge all of the ways that all of you have said, I am willing. Not just in this, but so many of you are going to be dedicating our leaders soon for thanking the leaders for this year, all of the ways that people step up and say, I am willing. And so as we continue to live into our values, even when it's scary as heck, I want you to keep thinking, are you willing? Are you willing? Thank you.
Before
Our closing words. We are Unitarian Universalists who put love at the center of our lives. Our service is now over and our work begins. May we share the love found here with the whole world.